Your one click on the subscribe button makes a huge difference. Thank you for your kind support.
The movie iHostage, 2025, a Dutch Netflix original film, takes audiences into the heart of a tense, harrowing, and deeply psychological hostage crisis that unfolds within the sleek and modern confines of an Apple store in Amsterdam. Inspired by true events that shocked the Netherlands and garnered global attention, this film, penned by Simon de Waal, intricately explores what happens when chaos enters a space designed for innovation and convenience. Over its runtime, the film shifts between gritty realism and an exploration of complex human motivations, providing a gripping portrayal of fear, courage, and the resilience of the human spirit. The story begins with a seemingly ordinary day in one of the busiest Apple stores near Amsterdam's Leidsplein. Customers browse new gadgets, employees assist buyers with technical advice, and a familiar hum of activity fills the air. The cold, industrial design of the store, its glass walls, metal staircases, and immaculate lighting, is juxtaposed with the suffocating tension that follows. Perspectives shift between multiple individuals in the store, including real-time security camera footage, grounding the film in a hyper-realistic style. The music during this initial sequence is light and almost carefree, reinforcing the banality of everyday life before disaster strikes. The inciting moment occurs abruptly, yet chillingly slowly, as a lone gunman enters the store, armed with a semi-automatic weapon. The sound of his footsteps and the clacking of his weapon echoes against the minimalist design of the store. What begins as a robbery quickly evolves into a calculated hostage situation when the man discovers the police have already been alerted. He corrals the customers and employees in the corner of the store, anger tightening his voice as he shouts orders. His name, we later learn, is Dave, though much of his identity and motive remain shrouded in mystery for a significant portion of the film. One of the most compelling aspects of iHostage is its use of perspective and pacing. Rather than providing a single protagonist, the narrative juggles multiple viewpoints, each adding a layer of depth to the main story. First, viewers are introduced to Ava, a young customer caught in the store during the ordeal. Through her eyes, we experience the psychological torment and confusion of a hostage, as she winces at every angry bark or loud movement the gunman makes. Ava's resourcefulness becomes crucial later in the story, but for now, she represents the fear and helplessness that grips the hostages. Meanwhile, the film dedicates significant screen time to Chief Inspector Martijn, the lead negotiator representing the police outside the building. Through Martijn's eyes, we explore the painstakingly difficult choices that law enforcement must contend with during a hostage crisis. Simon de Waal's background in crafting police dramas is evident. Martijn is portrayed not as a flawless hero but as a man carrying the heavy burden of ensuring the safety of civilians while balancing the razor-thin line of defusing the gunman's aggression. Martijn's negotiation scenes are intense, with every word calculated and deliberate, showcasing the psychological chess game at play. The hostage-taker, Dave, is a layered and enigmatic character. Early in the film, his chaotic nature dominates, but as the story progresses, cracks in his exterior reveal a more nuanced portrait of desperation and disconnection. Through scattered dialogue and flashbacks, audiences learn that Dave's actions stem not from ideology but from personal despair. He carries a smartphone with him throughout the ordeal, occasionally live-streaming parts of the crisis. This commentary on the current digital age, where even violent acts are commodified for online attention, introduces one of the movie's central themes: the intersection of technology, loneliness, and human vulnerability. Interspersed with the main plot are flashbacks that provide insight into Dave's life before the crime. He is shown as a man deeply in debt, struggling with systemic inequality, and crushed under the weight of unmet aspirations. While these moments don't excuse his behavior, they humanize him to an extent, creating a moral complexity that refuses to paint him as purely evil. His target, the Apple Store, symbolizes, to him, everything unattainable he desires: wealth, success, and human connection. This symbolism enriches the plot, positioning the sleek, modern shop as something of a fortress of alienation rather than a haven for innovation. The majority of the storyline operates within the contained environment of the Apple Store, using the hypermodern, minimalist architecture as a visual metaphor for isolation and fragility. Cinematographer Claire de Vries highlights the paradoxical openness of the glass walls that still manage to trap the characters inside. While bystanders, SWAT teams, and reporters look in from the outside, the glass becomes a barrier separating them from the hostages, a constant reminder of their entrapment. The camera work becomes increasingly claustrophobic as the standoff intensifies, zooming in on bloodshot eyes, trembling hands, and beads of sweat. This serves to immerse the audience deeply into the experience of those trapped inside. The climax of the film occurs during an expertly orchestrated escape attempt. Ava, whose quick thinking has already earned her respect among the hostages, devises a way to secretly communicate with the outside, a move that puts her in immense danger. The tension during this sequence is nearly unbearable, as small, seemingly innocuous movements could result in disaster. In a particularly startling scene, Dave finds one of the hostages secretly texting underneath a table. His explosive reaction serves as a reminder of how fragile the balance of power remains and how the smallest deviation could lead to catastrophic violence. As the film hurtles toward its ending, negotiations seem to reach a breaking point. Dave grows increasingly erratic, making demands that are impossible for law enforcement to meet, such as ransom money and a getaway car, while simultaneously threatening the lives of the hostages. Martine, meanwhile, tries to exploit Dave's psychological vulnerabilities, committing to an empathy-based approach rather than pure intimidation. However, this strategy's effectiveness wanes, as Dave's detachment from reality becomes more apparent. A particularly haunting line Dave utters: "No one's coming to save me! So why should I care about anyone else?" drives home the depth of his despair while also mirroring the overarching societal neglect that pushed him to the edge. Ending explained. The final act begins with an unexpected twist. One of the hostages, a middle-aged tech developer named Bram, reveals he had been covertly recording audio of the standoff with his smartwatch the entire time. Bram uploads this recording to the cloud moments before Dave confiscates the device, and later, the contents go viral, sparking public outrage over both Dave's methods and his grievances. The global reaction adds another layer of pressure on Martine, complicating the already razor-thin margin of preventing a tragic outcome. In its poignant final moments, the film culminates in a split-second decision. A sharpshooter, stationed in a building across the street, lines up his shot, but Martine delays giving the order despite his superior's insistence. Martine's instinct is that he can finally convince Dave to surrender, believing that the man, despite his volatility, does not truly want the blood of innocents on his hands. However, the moment Martine begins his final negotiation push, Dave notices one of the hostages moving toward the door. Believing they intend to escape, Dave raises his weapon, a fatal miscalculation. The sniper takes the opportunity and fires, killing Dave instantly. What follows is a somber and reflective aftermath. The hostages are freed, but the trauma of the event lingers, etched into their faces as they walk past cameras and flashing lights outside. In a chilling postscript, footage of the event continues to circulate online, dissected and debated endlessly by viewers across the globe. The virality of the crisis transforms it into a macabre digital spectacle, raising questions about the role of media and public complicity in commodifying human suffering. Symbolism and cinematic techniques. The ending doubles down on the movie's broader symbolism, the impossibility of true human connection in an increasingly digitized world. Dave's tragic ambition, to be seen and heard, mirrors society's own dependence on technology as a means of validation. The Apple Store itself becomes emblematic of a society overly reliant on materialism and technological advancement at the expense of emotional well-being. The choice to end the film with lingering camera shots on smartphones capturing the aftermath underscores this thesis. Fan theories and alternate interpretations. While the film provides a clear-cut resolution, some fans have posited alternate interpretations. One theory suggests that Dave's erratic behavior was less a result of personal desperation and more a covert commentary on the alienation by design philosophies inherent in digital consumer culture. Another intriguing interpretation hinges on Ava's role. Her quick thinking, combined with her focus by the camera, has raised theories that the film positions her as a reflective microcosm of the audience, powerless yet pivotal, passive yet inherently involved in the story being told. In conclusion, iHostage 2025 is far more than a thriller. It's a poignant study of the human condition in a hyper-connected yet emotionally isolated world. By combining pulse-pounding tension with rich thematic depth, the movie offers both an edge-of-your-seat experience and a profound meditation on societal flaws. Its ending, which skillfully avoids overly neat resolutions, leaves viewers grappling with questions that extend far beyond the confines of the theater or living room.